5. Do you not have anybody who are in the middle of transitioning, and what do you know about medication and those kind of doctor visits? And like, how complicated is that?
It is complicated because to begin with, there's no information, there's very little access. We don't have a healthcare system that recognizes that there are trans persons living in the society. So they don't have policies, or they don't have information pamphlets that are directed towards these persons. So it's really like a hit and miss. So trans women are looking to get, first of all this surgery itself doesn't have to be a physical surgery. That is like very extensive surgery. So simple things like getting hormone treatment, hormone replacement therapy. If you would ask the average trans person where to get it, they will not know. So they take things like birth control pills to make the alterations to their bodies to make them feel as if they are being realigned, as they feel with themselves mentally, as they present physically. I think that is the crux of the matter right then and there. That there is no healthcare policy directed towards trans women or trans men. So there is no way that you could say, this morning I'm going to the Mount Hope and I'm going to go see somebody to put me on hormone treatment, replacement therapy, who's going to guide me through the process, who's going to see about my psychological health. It just doesn't happen. It's just so most of the persons, they feel like they just do risky things to get the physical attributes that they want, or they think about flying to different countries where perhaps if they can afford it, so now this becomes another layer of marginalization, it becomes something of class and income now. If they can afford it, they will go somewhere else, and some will just try to run and hide it in Amsterdam or UK or US or some other country. But here, there's nothing for them.
It described to me the importance of identity. And if you could just meander a bit about that. But people say, like, how they identify, like, you're talking to somebody, like, I'm a mother. And that is super important for them, that everybody knows that they're a mother. And nobody can take that identity away from you. If you try to say, no, stop saying you're a mother, you'll get upset. Like a trans person, it's always important to have a trans identity and to be able to dress the way your brain is.
That is a really good question. And I think the best identity is such a complex thing. If you think about it for yourself, you know yourself as Luke or maybe as Mary all your life. Then somebody tries to call you Jane or Janet, and that is not me. Who are you talking to? You're not calling me. Hey boy, that's me, I have a name, my name is Luke. That's part of identity. We understand what it means to feel one way about oneself. Let's take that for example. There's a medical condition where some people don't mature. So let us say, okay, if you were born on a leap year, every 4 years you will be 1 year, 2 years, whatever. By that time your body is growing 8 years, 16 years. But if we were supposed to look at that person and say, well, listen, you may be 16 years, but you just look like you're 5 years old. And that person has all the maturity, the physical development, the cognition of a person who is 16 or 20 years of age. Can you understand the kind of disconnect happens there? When they know for themselves that they are 20 years of age, I'm a full woman, but when you look at me, you tell me that I am a 5-year-old girl. How do you reconcile that with yourself? Think about it for a moment. If you did not like a dress or some particular sports clothes your parents would have bought you when you were a child, and you despise the shoe, let's just say it's a shoe, and every time you had to go somewhere, they make you put on that shoe. How do you feel about having to wear that shoe? That's how the trans person is. That they feel, they believe in themselves, they see themselves, and they know themselves to be one particular way, but just completely misplaced in another box. And that's something that society does. It puts people in the box. You need to be male, you need to be female, and if you're a male, you have to have this, you have to have that. But there's so much more in identity than just the physical characteristics. How I think about myself, how I see myself, what I know to be true about myself, my emotional responses to other persons. So, how important is identity? Without identity, I can't imagine where someone would be if you were to wake up in the morning and not know who, if I were to wake up and not know who reality is, not be able to say reality is a student, reality is an activist. is detrimental to the psychological health of the person. Too long. God damn it, every time.
You may tie it up nice too.
I know why, because the dysphoria was going
Well, you see,
for-
he asked you like 3 questions in one. So, you know.
Let's chop out half of that and just put the end of what identity. Identity is very complex. Identity is really complex. I mean, I have a bunch of little cells that make up identity.
Alright, okay, good. So, okay, so we have a little disturbances from outside. Hopefully we could edit it out or treat the audio to minimize the noise.
So the guy was brilliant when I was speaking.
Yeah.
Damn, I wasn't hearing him. That sucks.
You can fit the both of them in there.
Yeah,
So let's try and do that.
we
You
could
could do that in like.
No.
Oh no, wait, maybe I should do the interview first. So you have some questions you want to ask me? Because I want to at least
Tell me.
what? I have that box there. I can take that box and put it in. I think both of them could sit down.
And 1 box or 2 boxes?
Okay, first off, this is
A small box.
2 feet wide,
That's about me.
right? I am sure
About 2 feet.
that one of your bottom cheeks is not 2 feet.
And then
Right.
you gotta cater for the hips or whatever.
Right? The hips.
The
Right.
wings.
The wings. So I know the both of you could ting one and I just have one ting. That's really not.
Alright.
Okay, so go ahead, Luke.
What question will I ask you?
You know-
Scribble down some